picture that we have for you, hello, that's me. My name is Alisa Keeton. I'm the founder of Revelation Wellness, and Jesus found me. That picture, I was not found by Jesus then. Let me just say he was. I would have called myself a Christian by label, but I was out doing all the fitness things that one can do. I began doing aerobics in 1985, taking classes when I was 14 years old, and I loved fitness. I enjoyed it. Something about moving my body brought me great joy. I felt like I could express myself maybe in a way that my internal emotions could find an external expression. And I was also told by people, hey, your body is really responsive to this fitness thing. Maybe you should look into bodybuilding or fitness competition. And because I didn't know who I was prone to listen to the suggestions of others. And if someone said I could be good at something, and I didn't have any real direction for my own life of someone calling out good for me or speaking into my design as an image bearer of God, I was just looking, trying to figure it out. And since it was something I liked, it was a good thing. Fitness is a good thing. I began to pursue it more and more and more. And this is what, for me, it looked like when my good thing became my God thing. And it never satisfied. It was never good enough. I always would get feedback of, well, maybe if you just work on the striations in your quads, or maybe, how about this? Maybe if you got breast implants. And that's a whole nother story, because I did do that, trying to chase after this perfect image. So I did a lot of fitness competing. I would stand on a stage. I cannot believe I stood on a stage. And this is no judgment for anyone who is fitness competing. People ask me, do you think you can do fitness competing and love the Lord? And I go, I think it's, if your mission field is to go in there and proclaim the gospel and not just kind of have it as your badge or something to kind of, well, Jesus, I'm dragging you into this, then yes, go spread the gospel. But just be wearisome, because you can get caught up in the idolatry of it, in the obsession of it, because little is never enough. More always has to be better. So for me, it was not found there. And I quickly, kind of over time, became aware I got to get out of this cycle. This is leading me down a road that could be destructive. And that was even before I was really walking with Christ. So, hi, I'm Alisa Keeton, the founder of Revelation Wellness. Jesus found me and pulled me out of an obsessive pattern about my body and what I thought it could be good for. I felt like if I could control my body, then maybe I could control my life. Next slide. And maybe for some of you, that is the complete opposite experience, because as I began to pursue fitness as a fitness professional, and I loved helping people, again, it's a good thing. I had to get away from it as my God thing of looking for a title. I began to train people, and I always found, and this was in 1990, oh gosh, I've been 30 years. So let's back up 30 years in the fitness world. What year would that be? We're in 92. In 1992, I started personal training. I started doing more in this world of fitness. And I always found that two patterns would emerge with a lot of my clients. One would be they would sign up and be gung-ho. They would be ready to do it, go after the goal. They would pay for the big expensive packages so that they could get the discount, thousands of dollars, so that they would have me as the trainer for the next 6 months or whatever it may be. And they would start with the best of intentions and then slowly fade away. They would get sick, maybe legitimately get sick, and then something else, a roadblock would come, another one, the kids would get sick, and they weren't seeing progress. It felt like they were losing traction. Again, key word there, it felt like they were losing traction, and they would begin to slide back and fall right back into a pattern of forget it, neglecting it. And often I would run into them in places and they would hide from me because of the shame that they felt that they could not finish what they started. Or, next slide, always got the fun ones that would come to me and very committed, very focused. They get goals and do them, but just tell me, get me the science of the macronutrients, Alisa, so that I can shave down this extra baby weight that I gained. It's all math, everyone. It's not that hard to do, and I would come up with those programs as long as people would follow them. And sure enough, someone would begin to lose the weight, start to see the results, and that always feels good. No shame in achieving a goal. But once again, when the goal begins to conquer us, it is no longer a good thing. It becomes a God thing. We are prone to make good things our God thing because we're prone to be our own God. We want control. So I would have clients come in. I remember one time a woman came in and she really, there was a visual transformation in about 6 months or so. And people were noticing, taking notice. She felt good. She was in the pocket doing all the things. Like she was the perfect student. And one day she came in, got her assessments, and left feeling disappointed that she didn't see any progress, but there was not more places to go. And as she was walking out, her husband was there to pick her up, and I was listening to her overhear what he said. He said, "So how'd it go?" And she's like, "No results, it's still the same." And he goes, "Honey, if you lose any more weight, you are going to be skin, hair, and teeth." And when he said that, I thought, man, that's true. There's no more for her to lose. And not that she was fit. She could fitness compete if she wanted to. There was no more to lose. You will be skin, hair, and teeth. Sounds like the ploy of an enemy to kill, steal, and destroy. When good things become our God things, it will turn and kill us. It pursues us and disappoints us when we get it. That's the definition of an idolatry or an idol. Tim Keller says that idols consume you as you pursue them. They disappoint you when you get them. You're like, this is it. And then they devastate you if you lose them. So what is going on here? Let's take a deeper dive underneath the skin and looking at the scale. I want you to think for a second and go with me on this journey. God has given you a body. A body. Think of your body as the car. What does my body do? It's a vehicle. It allows me to go somewhere. Because I have a brain and connected to a body, I can move. It's my movement. This is my transportation. Your body was given to you so you could move out into the world, explore the world, have a destination and go. This is beautiful. God didn't just make us into static forms. He gave us form and then gave us life. And life is active. Life is vital. It's going, it's breathing. It has different expressions of life. So think of your car, your body as a car. And by the way, that's not to neglect it. You don't have a hoopty of a car. You don't want a car that's dented and banged up. You want to take care of the body of the car itself. Wash it, clean it, try to keep it clean on the inside so that where you go, your environment is going with you. And now the next thing I want you to think about when you think of your body and being a car, that you have a brain. Your brain, as I said, is the reason you can move. A car without a motor or an engine goes nowhere. So you have a brain, which is the engine. But the engine in a car is benign. It just sits there unless what? We have a driver. I can put fuel in the car, food. I can put oil in the car, water. But it's not going anywhere unless a driver gets behind the seat. And what is the driver? That is your mind. You have a mind. A mind is different from the brain. The brain, I got one right here, and it fell off my desk, so I only have half a brain. And it's too many pieces to put back together. Here's half a brain. Your brain makes it possible for the car to move. And it's with a brain, if you don't think about where you're going, you will drift into those two ditches of obsessing and neglecting. So who's responsible for thinking about where I'm going? Your mind, the driver. What's going on in my mind? Your mind is what you are conscious of. What are you aware of? The brain is just your operating system, like your smartphone. You have an operating system, but you operate it with your mind to go, I want to go to Instagram. I want to go to Facebook. Whatever you choose the destination that you're going to go because you have a mind. Think about that. But if I don't pay attention to where I'm going, if I'm not mindful of where I drive my car, if I'm not thinking about the end destination of where I'm going, I will drift either into a pattern of obsessing or neglecting. And now know this, depending on the experience you've lived in your body, people tend to be very rigid with where they want to go. My mind is set on losing 10 pounds, so we hold on and we drive towards that destination, not knowing that because it's not the destination that God has for you, we drive into a ditch of obsession. Or we get behind the wheel and we have that goal that we want to go. I want to lose 10 pounds. That's my destination. But it's not happening, and we begin to just let go of the wheel and give up, and we drift into the ditch of neglecting. Obsessing and neglecting happens because the mind is set on a destination you were never meant to go. The obsession and neglect cycle is a war of wills between the way and the work. Keep that up. The obsession neglect cycle is a war of wills between the way and the work. Let's break that down. Will, way, and work. Your mind has a will, and you think there's a way that it should work. And God has a will, and He has a way in which your life was meant to work.